Hello and welcome to today's briefing. I'm Dana and I'm joined by Matt.
Hi, Dana. Hello, everyone. Good to be here.
Let's start with some political news.
Sounds good. What's the latest on Sonam Wangchuk's hunger strike?
Activist Sonam Wangchuk ended his 26-day hunger strike after the government assured him that his demands would be met. Union Ministers J.P. Nadda and Jitendra Singh met him and conveyed the government's assurances.
That's quite a dramatic development. What were his main demands?
The government has promised not to register cases against peaceful protesters, to discuss paper leaks and education reforms in Parliament, and to consider compensation for NEET paper leak suicide victims.
So it seems like the government is taking steps to address some of the concerns raised by Wangchuk. Do we know how the CAJP is reacting to these developments?
The CAJP continues its protest despite Wangchuk ending his fast. It appears they're not entirely satisfied with the government's assurances or are continuing their protest for other reasons.
I see. It's interesting that there's a split in the response. What about the broader context here? Is this part of a larger movement or protest in India?
Yes, this is tied to ongoing student protests and concerns over exam paper leaks, particularly the NEET UG controversy. The NTA has also been under scrutiny.
The NTA controversy is another story we've been following.
Exactly. The National Testing Agency has terminated 47 officials amid the NEET paper leak controversy, and there's likely to be more action in the coming days.
Wow, that's a significant move. What does this say about the government's stance on the issue?
It indicates a serious attempt to address the problem. The NTA is also planning to initiate legal and criminal action against some of the terminated officials.
That's a strong response. Are there any indications of how this will impact the upcoming exams or the education system more broadly?
The NTA is also notifying fresh recruitments to strengthen the agency, which suggests they're trying to overhaul their operations and prevent future leaks.
That's reassuring. Let's move on to some other political news.
Bangladesh President Mohammed Shahabuddin has resigned, citing health concerns. This comes amid continued political turmoil after Sheikh Hasina's ouster.
What are the implications of his resignation, especially given the current political climate in Bangladesh?
His resignation is 2 years ahead of the end of his term. The political situation remains uncertain following the ousting of the previous government.
Are there any indications of who might succeed him or how this will affect the political landscape?
The articles don't provide details on his successor, but it's clear that his resignation adds to the ongoing political upheaval.
Let's switch gears to international politics.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House on Tuesday.
What's the context of this meeting? Are there any specific issues they're likely to discuss?
The meeting comes amid heightened tensions between the two leaders over the handling of the war with Iran and the situation in Gaza.
That's a critical region. Have there been any notable developments in the war with Iran recently?
The articles don't provide specific details on recent developments, but it's clear that the meeting will be significant given the ongoing tensions.
Let's move on to some economic news.
HSBC is selling its Singapore life and health insurance business to Allianz in a deal valued at US $2.09 billion.
That's a significant transaction. What are the implications for HSBC and Allianz?
The disposal is expected to generate a pre-tax gain of $1.8 billion for HSBC and an estimated up to 15 basis point increase to CET1 for the HSB Group.
So it's a positive financial move for HSBC. What about Allianz? How does this fit into their expansion strategy?
This acquisition marks a substantial expansion opportunity for Allianz in Singapore. HSBC will also continue distributing insurance products through a 15-year bancassurance agreement.
That long-term agreement suggests a continued partnership between HSBC and Allianz. Are there any other major economic deals or news we should cover?
Canada and Ecuador are signing a free trade deal today, which is expected to boost trade between the two countries.
How significant is this deal likely to be for Canada and Ecuador?
The agreement is expected to eliminate tariffs on Canadian imports into Ecuador, potentially boosting trade. However, critics warn it could worsen environmental and human rights concerns in Ecuador.
That's an important consideration. Let's look at another economic story.
Russia's central bank made a smaller than usual interest rate cut, balancing the need to support stagnating economic growth with inflation concerns fueled by war spending.
What's the current inflation target for Russia's central bank, and how are they doing in terms of meeting it?
The bank's inflation target is 4%, and inflation remains higher than that due to war spending. The central bank is trying to find a compromise between business complaints about high rates and their inflation goals.
Let's move on to some sports news.
CBS NFL analyst and former Cowboys QB Tony Romo was arrested on suspicion of DUI after a traffic stop and failed sobriety tests.
What are the details surrounding his arrest?
Romo was pulled over around 6 p.m. on Thursday and arrested after performing poorly on field sobriety tests. His court date is set for September 21.
How might this incident affect his role as an NFL analyst for CBS?
The articles don't provide information on how CBS might respond, but it's likely to generate some discussion given his high-profile role.
Let's cover another sports story.
The Ravens waived rookie quarterback Diego Pavia to clear a roster spot for veteran offensive lineman Ethan Pochik.
What were Pavia's chances of making the Ravens roster, and where might he go next?
Pavia was competing for the third QB spot on the team's roster. The articles suggest he's looking for another NFL home.
Let's move on to some entertainment news.
Singer Chris Brown has pleaded guilty to a fray following a confrontation at a London nightclub in 2023.
What were the circumstances surrounding the altercation?
The articles don't provide detailed context on the incident, but Brown's guilty plea indicates there was a significant confrontation.
Let's cover another entertainment story.
Jon Bon Jovi was forced to end his sold-out concert at Madison Square Garden due to a sinus infection.
How did the audience react to the sudden ending of the concert?
The article suggests that Bon Jovi struggled to perform and eventually cut the concert short, promising fans he would make it up to them.
Let's look at some other news.
Ford Motor Co. is recalling more than 500,000 Broncos due to a wiring harness in the engine compartment that can short-circuit and increase the risk of engine fires.
That's a significant recall. What steps are being taken to address the issue?
The articles don't provide specific details on the fix, but it's a major recall that affects a large number of vehicles.
Finally, let's touch on a health-related story.
The number of measles cases in the U.S. has surpassed the total for all of 2025, with over 2,300 cases reported so far this year.
What's driving this surge in measles cases?
Major outbreaks in states like South Carolina, Utah, and Arizona have contributed to the rise. The CDC is tracking these cases closely.
That's concerning. Are there any indications of how public health officials are responding to this surge?
The articles suggest that the CDC is monitoring the situation closely, but they don't provide details on specific response measures.
Wow, that's all for today's briefing. Thanks for joining us, Dana.
Thanks, Matt. Goodbye, everyone, and we'll see you later.